Let me tell you about the morning I watched my entire life get torn apart by a sledgehammer, and how that moment, which should have broken me, ended up exposing the most twisted, criminal racket ever to worm its way into a peaceful neighborhood. You ever think your HOA is out of control? I promise, you haven't seen anything like this. Picture this. It's barely 7:15 a.m. My coffee hasn't even cooled, and the so-called president of our HOA, Alicia Thomas, is coming at my guest cabin like she's leading a raid on El Chapo's hideout. No warning, no decency, just pure power trip, swinging a hammer straight through my window, not even knowing there's someone inside who could have her entire world torn to shreds. Yeah, that happened. You know what I mean? Now, back up a sec. Let me set the scene. My name's Austin Bailey. Not so long ago, I thought I had the American dream on lockdown. House in Maplewood Hills, Wi-Fi adored, job consulting for veterans who'd been burned by the system. I built that guest cabin with my own hands. Weekends, late nights, blisters and splinters, Lisa by my side with lemonade and encouragement. It wasn't just a building. It was proof to myself I could create something real. Every permit, every nail, by the book, because that's how I do things. Then Alicia Thomas showed up. At first glance, you'd think she was straight out of a designer home catalog. Highlights, business casual, smile like she practiced it in the mirror, but that energy? Pure predator. First, it was the mailbox color. Next, emergency assessments for urgent repairs nobody ever saw. It was like watching someone discover the cheat codes to local government and just start spamming them for extra cash. But the morning everything fell apart wasn't the first time I'd seen her flex. See, the Johnsons, sweet couple on Social Security, lost their home to emergency assessments. The Martinez family's backyard deck, demolished after a mysterious code violation. Every time someone stood up to Alicia, something bad happened. But she made a mistake with me. She assumed I'd roll over like the rest. So, that Tuesday, I'm in my cabin, reviewing files for a veterans discrimination case, when Lisa yells my name, her voice already tense. I look out, and there's Alicia, waving a document like she's Moses with the Ten Commandments, trailing a contractor I recognized, Derek Morrison, a veteran, a decent guy, but right then he looked like he'd rather be getting a colonoscopy. I step out. Alicia hands me this court order. Overdue fees, fines, demolition threats, the whole show. It looked official, but something felt off. Fonts, seals, even the paper. You don't spend 20 years in the military without learning when something smells wrong. I refused. Simple as that. No money until you prove these fees are legit. Alicia's mask cracked for just a second, and I saw the real her. She got close, whispered threats. People who don't follow the rules find life very uncomfortable here. That night, I watched her on my security cams, out at 2 a.m., digging next to my cabin, burying something. Not random, deliberate, precise. Lisa and I watched the footage on loop, hearts pounding. Whatever she was hiding, it wasn't good. The next day, I started digging, figuratively, not literally. I spent hours in the county courthouse, tracing her paper trail. 17 demolitions in 2 years, all with the same judge's signature. A judge who, by the way, had been dead for 8 months. You get it? Alicia was forging court orders to target people who couldn't fight back. Veterans, elderly, single mothers. Then came the twist. Diane, Alicia's own sister, cornered me outside the courthouse. She was the HOA treasurer, and you could see the fear in her eyes. She spilled everything. Alicia owed money to some real bad people, loan sharks. The whole demolition scheme? Push families out, snap up their homes for pennies, flip them, pocket the difference. The compliance victories? Alicia kept photos of families crying as trophies. Diane showed me photos, documents, texts, the smoking gun. But I made a rookie mistake. I followed her to Alicia's secret storage unit to collect evidence. Alicia was already there, waiting, baseball bat in hand, venom in her eyes. "You have no idea what you're messing with," she spat, swinging the bat close enough to make me flinch. But then Derek showed up, crowbar in hand, his loyalty finally clear. The standoff broke when Alicia's phone rang, a call that left her visibly shaken. 24 hours, she threatened. After that, your cabin's gone. That night, unable to sleep, I called the state attorney general's office. Patricia Williams was known for championing veterans' rights. By some stroke of fate, she was passing through the next morning. We agreed. She'd be inside my cabin at 7 a.m. for a consultation, right as Alicia's demolition was scheduled. The plan was dangerous, maybe stupid, but it was the only way to catch Alicia red-handed. Lisa and I had a raw conversation that night about risk, about justice, about how far we'd go to protect our home and our community. In the end, we decided together. Some fights are worth it, even when the cost is high. Dawn. Derek's crew shows up, unloading tools like they're prepping to take down a fortress. Derek looks at me, silent understanding passing between us. Patricia arrives, serious, sharp, a presence that fills the room. I explain. She listens, she records. Alicia's BMW screeches into my driveway. She's frantic, desperate, hair pulled back, makeup smeared. She starts screaming at Derek. Start now, not at 8, now. He tries to reason. She threatens him, her composure slipping by the second. Then the real heavies show up, black SUVs, men in suits, the kind that radiate danger. Alicia meets them, pale as a ghost. Whatever they say, it's clear her life depends on finishing the job. Derek tries to refuse. There are people inside, he pleads. Alicia's done pretending to care. She grabs a sledgehammer, shrieking about community compliance, and starts swinging, drywall flying, rage and fear turning her into a force of nature. Patricia, inside, is documenting everything, phone in one hand, legal pad in the other. But something's wrong. Alicia's not just destroying property. She's targeting specific spots, hitting load-bearing walls, clearly trying to eliminate evidence. The box she buried. The documents inside my cabin. It's more than a tantrum. It's a cover-up. Suddenly, a guy steps out from behind a truck, camera in hand, professional, not one of Derek's crew. Our eyes meet. He mouths, FBI. I almost laugh at the insanity of it all. Patricia gets a call, goes pale, then asks, besides your wife, did you tell anyone about this meeting? Now I realize, the operation is bigger than me, bigger than Alicia, bigger than this neighborhood. Alicia's destruction escalates. Graffiti, veterans don't belong here, community compliance, respect authority or lose everything, scrawled across the ruins. Patricia snaps photos, her expression changing. Suddenly, Alicia's charges have leveled up. Not just property destruction, but federal hate crimes. Alicia answers another call, clearly terrified. Almost finished. Problem solved in 10 minutes. The men in suits look impatient, checking watches, making calls. Finally, one walks over, grabs Alicia's arm, hisses something. She almost collapses but returns to the demolition, frantic, wild, sweating, shrieking. Right as the roof starts to cave, Patricia pulls out her badge and steps into the daylight. I'm Attorney General Patricia Williams. I just witnessed multiple felonies. Time freezes. Derek's crew backs away. The men in suits try to blend in. Alicia drops the hammer. Then the camera guy flashes his badge. Special Agent John Hayes, FBI. Mrs. Thomas, you just became our star witness against yourself. It clicks. The texts, the surveillance, the timing, all part of a months-long joint state-federal sting. My cabin was the bait, and Alicia took it, hook, line, and sinker. Diane appears, box in hand, waving files, shouting, Alicia, stop. They know everything. Alicia breaks, screams at everyone, blames me, blames her sister, blames the world. Agent Hayes opens the box Alicia buried. Inside, photos, financial records, stalking files on dozens of families, plans for targeting vulnerable homeowners in 12 HOAs. Patricia turns to me, whispers, this is national-level racketeering. Federal backup arrives, men in suits arrested, Derek's testimony, Lisa's video evidence. Justice, at last, moving at full speed. Alicia and her partners are hauled away, but not before she spits one last accusation. If you just paid your fees, none of this would have happened. Even in cuffs, she refuses to see herself for what she is. The trial is a circus, every seat filled with Alicia's victims. The judge lays down 15 years for Alicia, 25 to life for her organized crime handlers. Diane, for testifying, walks free, finally safe from her sister's shadow. The restitution covers my destroyed cabin 3 times over. But the real win? Seeing my neighbors laugh, let their kids play, and talk freely for the first time in years. Derek insists on rebuilding my cabin himself. I should have stopped her sooner, he says, and I get it. Sometimes good people get caught in bad situations, and redemption is what you do next. Lisa, my rock, had quietly recorded every moment. Her videos become the backbone of the federal case. In interviews, she says, "I married a man who fights for what's right, but I never thought I'd see him risk our home to prove justice matters." The story spreads, other veterans call for help. Before I know it, I'm running Bailey Veterans Advocacy, using Alicia's prosecution as precedent to help families nationwide. Congress holds hearings. Austin's law passes, bringing real oversight to HOAs. My new cabin stands where the old one fell, now a place for neighbors to meet, kids to play, and flowers to grow over the scars Alicia tried to leave behind. Sometimes I sit out there at sunset, remembering how close we came to losing everything, and how justice, when it comes, feels like spring after the longest winter. And if you're out there fighting your own HOA nightmare, here's what I learned. Document everything, find allies, and never let the bullies make you small. Sometimes, the only way to fix a broken system is to let it destroy itself, then rebuild something better from the ashes. Now I want to hear your stories. What's the wildest power trip your HOA ever pulled? Where's the line between community rules and straight-up corruption? Comment below, share your war stories. Let's make sure no one fights this battle alone. And if you ever meet someone like Alicia Thomas, remember, sometimes the best revenge is letting them destroy themselves while you build something stronger in their wake.